Guys, I want to show you something. Everything's gone. Look at all this room. We have so much room for activities. Dang, man, we got rid of all this stuff in a week. That was crazy. Now, if you're like me, you want to know how much everything costs. Every vehicle that someone sells, you want to know what it's sold for. Every house that you see that's sold, you're just curious what it's sold for. So, let's hop inside the shop and we'll go over each vehicle and I'll show you what I sold them for. Guys, before I go over the sales price of those vehicles, I just wanted to show you real quickly how the F350 is looking right now. It is getting awfully close to being started. The goal is to have this thing running today and then I'll be able to get the body on it. I've been filming the entire process, so everything that you're seeing here, I've filmed all of that. I just haven't been able to edit it. It takes me about 9 hours to edit each video and I just don't have the time, but I wanted to show you guys what it's looking like right now so you can get a little sneak peek for the future episodes. All right, let's talk about the sales price. All right, guys, the first vehicle that we showed was the Grumman. That did not sell, and I think it was because it was overpriced. That one was not mine. I would have sold it for quite a bit less, but that one had to be towed off the property, and the owner's currently trying to sell that one. All right, guys, next up was the 1930 Model A, nicknamed Roosevelt. I had a lot of interest in that, mostly from all across the country, a couple people locally. I ended up selling it for $4,200. It was on eBay for $4,000 with no reserve, and there were no bids on it, but there were a bunch of people reaching out, and they'd given me kind of like back channel offers and whatnot. I ended up selling it locally. That's why I took that bit of a discount. I did have higher offers for it, but I was going to have to try and deal with coordinating shipping, and I just didn't want to do that. Now, the owner sent me a video less than 1 day later of it running. Now, this thing hadn't ran in over 40 years, and it still had propane in the tanks that hadn't leaked out yet. And so apparently all it needed was a battery, which is what I expected. And it made me feel good because the new owner was really worried that it wasn't going to run. I kept saying, I'm pretty sure this thing will run with just a little bit of work. And sure enough, so here's the video that he sent me of it running. Alright, next up was the 1955 F100. Now, I thought this was probably the best deal out of any of these vehicles because it was easily a six-figure truck if you just fix it up correctly. But it was missing some parts. It didn't have the bed, it didn't have the fenders. That seemed to bother a lot of people. I've never reused those beds. I always get them from mid50.com. I get them shipped unwelded. That way you just put them together yourself and the shipping is a little bit cheaper. But that was sold locally. It was a guy in Tucson. And it was on eBay for $4,000, and it had tons of reactions and interest and all that, but it didn't have any bids until about 10 seconds before the auction closed. And I was expecting 2 or 3 bidders, so I thought it would bump up to maybe $4,600, $5,000, but no, that one sold for $4,000. So lost some money on that one, but that's okay. See you later. I'm gonna miss you. Alright guys, next up was the 1962 International Metro. This had more interest than I was expecting. It's a bit of a niche vehicle. There's not a ton of stuff you can do with it. It really had to be turned into like a camper, I was thinking, or maybe a mobile bar or something like that. Basically advertising was what I thought it was going to be used for. And that's exactly what it is going to be used for. It's a guy who's in Arizona. He's up north, I think Heber Overgaard area, and he's building it into a vehicle. Well, he's doing a chassis swap with a new van, and it's going to be like a mobile tool truck or something like that. But it's good that it's getting a chassis swap because that old drivetrain was pretty terrible. The next up, the forklift. I still haven't sold that yet. I had a guy that was going to buy it, but his funding fell through, plus I'm not done using it, so that's still here, at least for now. The Scout, that was the only vehicle I had that didn't sell, and I think it's because I just had that sandblasted body that's looking a little bit rusty. Here's a picture of it when I got it, and then here is how it looks now, just to remind you guys. That's still up for sale. There's a few people who are interested, but no one's bought that yet. The Crown Vic. I did end up having to buy the computer on eBay as well as a new mass air sensor. That way it was all running and driving and good to go. So I sold that for $800 to a guy in Buckeye, not too far from Phoenix. So my buddy Martin went and delivered that. The next up, the 2CV. Now this went for almost exactly what I thought it was going to go for. It was on eBay. I think the bidding started at $5,000. I had a whole bunch of lowball offers that people were trying to get me to end the auction early for $5,000 or $6,000 or $5,600. A ton of those. It had a decent amount of bidding throughout, and then right at the end, I was expecting a big jump in the bidding, but it ended up selling just under 9,000. It was 8,988, and it is already on a transporter heading up to the Seattle area, which is great because there's a nice little 2CV community there, and as far as I know, the largest part supplier for those 2CVs is up near, I forget the name of the city, but it's right near Seattle. So that's cool. So it'll have a nice little community over there. Now there was one vehicle that I had for sale that I didn't show you guys in that last video, and that was because it sold to a friend of mine right before I made that video. It was the 65 Shelby Cobra replica. It was a factory 5 kit that used to live in the corner that a lot of you guys remember seeing in the trophy truck videos. I sold that to my buddy Jose, who works for Elwood Body Works, who you saw his Cobra when I was over at the shop buying the paint for the 79 F350. Now he already has one Cobra that's a true 427. Not a true Cobra, but it's a Shelby America 427 in a, I believe it's a Paul Bennett first generation replica. So he wanted to build another one, and he liked the engine transmission platform that I had picked out, which was the modern Mach 1. It was a 2003 Mach 1. So he bought the engine, transmission, and then the complete factory 5 kit, and he's already making good progress on it. So here's a quick clip of us at Elwood Body Works where he's starting the process of putting together the factory 5. Now he's thinking about starting up a YouTube channel, so if and when he does, that'll show that whole build up. I'll pass that on to you guys, but here's how it's looking right now. Guys, I'm back over here at Elwood Body Works where I sold my Cobra to my buddy Jose.
What's up, guys?
Hey! Let me show you how far along he's got. You can see this is pretty close to finished, and then this is how it looked like before. So he sanded it all down, still has those little marks in there, and then it eventually looks like this. And then a couple layers of primer, and then some paint, and then it'll be good to go, right?
We'll be just about done with it.
Do you know what color you're gonna do it yet?
Still deciding.
Okay.
Yes. But I'll try to post something soon on it.
I told him he has to do it black because it sells for the most money. So he got the Mach 1 Mustang as well. He bought the whole bop shebang from me. You can see we already pulled out the motor, tranny, all that. I sent that over to him. Guys, while I was editing this video, I was able to get the truck up and running. And so I wanted to show that to you before I leave you. So oh, she sounds good. All right. So there you have it. That's going to be it for this video. Thanks for watching. I'm not sure when the next one will be out, but it'll probably be the next video for the F350. So, see you guys when I see you.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Bye-bye.